Hi everyone, so today I'm doing another haul video and I've got a number of things. So I think this delivery today from Jackson's, and then I got the other items yesterday from Hobbycraft. And let's start with this one. So this is just they're called large luggage tags, and it's a pack of 30. They're on this kind of cream paper, and I used to really enjoy James Berg's tag Thursdays, or was it Tuesdays? Tuesdays tags, tag Tuesdays, whatever. But if you know his channel, then you know what I'm talking about. So it's something I wanted to try, maybe make small illustrations on these rather than large ones, or I don't know, I just kind of wanted to experiment with them a little bit. The other thing I got was actually something I needed, X-Acto knife, which is basically a craft knife. Now, this is by the brand X Cut. I can't say that I'm recommending this particular knife here, because the packaging was so horrific. To take it out, it was so dangerous because the cap doesn't sit that well. It comes off constantly, and as you can imagine, it's a very sharp knife, so the last thing you want is to cut yourself. Yeah, so the packaging isn't great, and then it came with a few blades which were just tucked into let me just show it to you. Okay, I had to stop there because my Amazon delivery just came. It was just like a memory card I ordered because I have not much space left. So coming back to this, basically the way this plastic came is in a very flimsy, thin plastic tray that was just tucked in. There is no lid, there is nothing. I had to go ahead and stick some tape over it to keep it in place, because this is just so... I don't know, I'm quite disappointed with the packaging, because we're talking about, you know, very sharp blades here. Where do you expect people to keep this? It should have had at least a lid, and yeah, so I would not recommend this. I'm not going to leave a link for this knife, but having said that, it does seem to be, you know, doing the job in terms of cutting. And the reason I did get it is because I have enjoyed drawing with a pencil in when I was recreating Ali Brown's illustration, and so I wanted to start using pencils again. In you know, if you're looking at this, you might wonder what the hell is going on here. But anyways, so basically, you when you have a pencil, or when you buy a pencil, this is what they look like. And then depending on what sharpener it is, you can get a pencil to like a longer point, or to a thinner, to a shorter point. And I really don't like that look in pencils. And in fact, if you go to art school, they teach you to sharpen your pencils, and the way you do it is with a craft knife, and you basically... I'm not going to demonstrate it now, but the way you do it is you hold it like so, and then with this finger you basically push down, and you kind of sort of carve out the wood, you kind of cut it, and then you expose the lead of the pencil so that it's nice and long. And there are different varieties of doing it. You can watch there are loads of tutorials on YouTube, but basically you can go for something like that, or you can go for something like this, which is quite an extreme, so you can expose it up to 1 inch. And this is used for shading, so then you can go onto paper, lay it flat, and just create shading if that's what you're working with. So they look much better to me, and I feel like I can hold them now in a way that you're supposed to hold the pencil, whereas with these ones, they need you know, they need some work here. So anyway, so moving on, but still within the same subject, there are two new pencils that I purchased. Now this one is, so they're both by Faber Castell, and this is the 5H. So I think the hardest one I have ever tried is the 2H, if I'm not mistaken. So anyways, the 5H is super hard. Just to give you an example, I'm just going to get a piece of paper.
Oh, what's that?
Okay, Mason, you broke it. So here I'm going to take the 3B, which is a soft lead, and you're going to see I'm just doing the same strength. Now I have a 2B, and now is the 5H. So it's basically, if you want a pencil that will give you very little, so you're not going to see it in the illustration afterwards, then that's what you want. Just lightly touching it when you are drawing on paper, and basically you will not need to erase it afterwards. So I got it for that reason, so I wanted to try it out. Now the second one I got is the Faber Castell 2B, and it's a graphite aquarelle. So it's one of those water soluble graphite pencils, which again I saw in Ellie Brown's video. So that's the one she I'm not sure whether that's the exact one. There are loads of different ones. In fact, I think she uses a different brand. I'm not sure which one, but she does use the water soluble graphite pencil, and that's what I wanted to try, because if I just show you, I don't know, so I'm just going to draw in some hard lines, and just use a bit of water. Now this is a, you know, not watercolor paper, so keep in mind it's not going to behave that well. So you can see you can make the line move, and equally here as well you can sort of draw with it and you can create shadows, whereas if you go into a regular pencil, oh, that's interesting. Is that because this one is, the 3B is a Caran d'Ache? I wonder if this one, oh yes it is. It's got a brush on here, so it's also a water soluble pencil. Well, good I discovered that, I didn't know. I forgot, I bought this pencil a long time ago. So yeah, now, okay, let me give you a proper demonstration now. So I'm going to go for this classic Staedtler pencil that we all know. We all use them in schools. So this is a not water soluble pencil, and basically the graphite is not moving, as you can see here, when you are introducing water. So this graphite is lovely. In fact, I really like this Caran d'Ache quite a bit. So yeah, so that's just to demonstrate. So then I also added 4 more pencils to my collection, and by the way, thank you very much for all of you who have left recommendations for the colors. I think maybe these two might have been mentioned, but I don't remember now exactly. So anyways, I got the pink Carmine, and also the light magenta, which is a gorgeous kind of like a bluish pink, and I also got the Payne's grey. I was actually surprised because I picked it up without looking at the name, and I started sort of swatching it. This was in Hobbycraft, and I find that they're you know, like watercolors and their pencils, they're always not in the kind of best shape. So a lot of them were either damaged or just kind of really halfway scribbled down, so I had to sharpen them back up when I got home. So I didn't feel bad, you know, swatching them then, because they already were in sort of not a great condition. So anyways, when I swatched this one, and I thought it's such a beautiful grey color, it's like the watercolor that I like to use, and then I looked at it and it was Payne's grey, of course my favorite grey when it comes to watercolor. So had to get this one. And then finally there was something about this dark chrome yellow, which is a gorgeous color. It's so juicy and delicious. It reminds me of a center of a flower where you just kind of see the pollen and everything. So yeah, had to get that. And I actually kind of saw these two colors together, the Payne's gray and this yellow, maybe for something different to try with the illustrations. So anyway, so that's that. And then I have these now left. So these are from Jackson's Art. So let me just open. I didn't order any schminke. They just recycled their boxes. So I quite like that. They don't just stick, you know, tubes or watercolor tubes into your package and that's it. They actually go through the effort of recycling some of their packaging. And yeah, so it's quite good because you know, they are in place and they're not being sort of squeezed about in the packaging by the time they come through your door. So here are a couple more colors. So I think I told you in one of my videos that I'm planning to make a palette which will be housing all of my favorite watercolors, and these were the colors that were kind of remaining on the Daniel Smith dot card that I wanted to get, and I thought, okay, I'll just get them because they're so beautiful. And the other one, which I'm not sure, well, I got it because I really liked it on the dot card, but I want to paint with it first before I decide. So this is the Nickel Azo Yellow. I see a lot of American watercolorists use this yellow a lot, so I thought I will give it a go as well. It's supposed to be like a yellowish ochre, and yeah, so it's similar to Indian yellow but a little bit more muted, so I thought again that could be quite nice for floral illustrations, this color. So that's that. And then I also got a set of 12 empty pans for the, where is it, this one here, to fill up this palette. So this is just a mint little box here, and 16 half pans are fitting in, which is great. No, the last one doesn't want to go in. So then 15 colors basically. I will pick 15 of my sort of top favorite watercolors to put into here. So that's that. And the last thing that I got, which I said to you is more of a luxury thing, is this Winsor Newton Professional Watercolor. It's a color chart and it's hand painted. Now, I couldn't find a dot cards. I don't know whether Winsor Newton actually do dot cards, because that would have been great. I've got the dot cards for the entire of the Schminke Horadam watercolor collection and also Daniel Smith, and that was great way of not only trying the colors out yourself, but also basically have all the colors right there in front of you, and once in a while go back to it and select some colors and add them to your collection. So the only way I could do it with Winsor Newton is by purchasing this hand painted color chart, which is quite expensive. So it's 20 quid. And from my understanding, you're not going to have any basically dots of watercolor, which would be sort of samples of watercolors if you want to see that way, that you could paint with. But from what I understand, it's going to be just hand painted watercolor for you to look at. So let's go ahead and take these sealed envelope off. Okay, so the moment of excitement. Let's see what this looks like for £20. So by the way, this is not a shadow. It looks like a shadow on camera. It's just how it's printed grey into white. Ta-da! Okay, so that's what you get. I mean, it is beautiful. The range is not as big as you know, as the as the other two, Schminke and Daniel Smith. So yeah, this was the only way for me to actually see the watercolors in reality, what they look like on paper. It seems to be a textured, like a cold press watercolor paper, because I can see the texture of the paper. I think you can see as well, especially here on green, you can see it quite well. And they just cut out and they stuck. I have to say that the quality of this card is superb. It looks very beautifully made. Everything is straight. Everything is just yeah, done really well. I have to say that. Some of the swatches are quite streaky, so I don't know whether that's the brush that was used. I would have liked to see a black line all the way across to see the transparency with my own eyes. I think I have this one, the Permanent Rose. It's a beautiful color. So yeah, kind of useful to have this, because like I say, it can save you a lot of money if you buy this card and, you know, just know what you need, what you don't need. But like I said, I really don't see why they just don't make a dot card that you can swatch yourself and also have a little bit of, you know, paint left to explore it on, you know, in your sketchbook or something like that, or on the paper that you like to paint with, because the price mark would sort of, I would expect that with the price mark. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching and see you soon.
What's that? What's that?